outside. 6621 East Wind Place was like any other American home. A driveway off a cul-de-sac led to a 3-2 in a good neighborhood with shuttered windows and a manicured backyard where oranges swelled in fall and roses bloomed in spring. Yes, on the outside, 6621 was perfect. But on the inside, it was a crime scene. Because 6621 was a spanking house. There are 3 types of houses in the world. The spanking house where kids get spankings, the timeout house where kids get timeouts, and the fun sleepover house where kids get to do whatever they want. My best friend Sarah lived in a timeout house, and when Sarah broke the rules, her mom told her how she messed up, set the red onion kitchen timer, and sent Sarah off to a corner for 5 minutes, forcing our Barbie fashion show into a commercial break. It's totally unfair, Sarah'd say. And it was unfair, because I lived in a spanking house. Unlike the timeout house, our spanking house didn't have rules posted on the fridge, or at all for that matter. Sure, there were vagaries around keeping a room clean and not fighting, but sometimes there were consequences and sometimes there weren't, so really there was no justice system. And when we did get in trouble, it was trouble with a capital T. Trouble like run for your life if you hear the sound of the kitchen door opening. Trouble like chased down with a blue flip-flop. Trouble like my sister and I were beat with a broomstick. Trouble like one time I was beat so badly I couldn't sit. The next day, as I grimaced into the passenger seat of our '73 Monte Carlo, my mom's face flashed sympathy for a moment. Then she shrugged, you should have known better. Okay, but if the goal of the timeout and spanking house is to raise productive adults, then, you know, the past is the past, and the proof is in the pudding, and the pudding is who I am now, right? Maybe. The thing is, if you grow up getting in trouble all the time, you start to think it's your fault, that something's wrong with you, that you deserve it. And as an adult, doing adult things, I've noticed that instead of work hard, play hard, YOLO, or say la vie, my life motto is don't get in trouble. In other words, I was spanked so hard, it's like I was spanked into the future. Now, knowing this is key because I can course correct. I can choose my own paradigm. I can see my mom as a person, not a disciplinarian. When I see her as a person, I think, hey, it must have been hard to leave your entire family to come to America. It must have been hard to be dyslexic. And after a long day cleaning hotel rooms, it must have been hard to come home to a messy house and bickering kids, and maybe that frustration was vented through flip-flops and broomsticks and the broken part of a picket fence. Now, rationally, this outlook helps, but it doesn't change me feeling angry, and I'm tempted to beat my mom up for it until I learned that when she was growing up, my mom was beat by one of her uncles, all the time, for no reason. And instead of getting angry, I get sad because she's not just my mom the person, she's my mom who grew up in a spanking house. And if she was here, I'd say, that's so sad, and I'm sorry that happened to you, and you didn't deserve it, and I realize you were doing your best, but I'm afraid I can't say these things because it's too late, because I'm afraid you're gone. I've lived half my life without you, and that's hard because if when I ever get married, you can't tell me I'm beautiful. And if when I ever get pregnant, you can't see my kids. And if when I ever YOLO, I mean, you can't come to the rescue or pick me up from a cheap hotel room because that's where I assume all YOLOs end up. I don't know. So there's some sad, there's some angry, and there's some shame. And you know what? There's also the fact that I'm still here, and I'm kind, and I'm strong, and I've had enough education for the both of us. So all those feelings are okay because feeling sad doesn't beat me. Feeling broken doesn't beat me. And growing up in a spanking house doesn't beat me because as an adult doing adult things, I don't have to fear spankings.